Welcome back to episode 3 on how to custom paint a bonnet. I left you off yesterday. We've got all the prep work done on the bonnet, done a little bit of filling with dolphin glaze on the stone chips, and then we projected the images up, sized the artwork up, and I've cut the pockets out that we're going to need for this artwork. All good to go. So we're moving on to base coats today, and we've got to get the first grey base coat down on this, get all these edges on round this bonnet. So a nice coverage, not too heavy. I don't want to go too heavy coming up to these pieces here that are cut out. Just a nice coverage, and then we can move on to the next base coat. But we've got to do some more stenciling, putting stencils back on before we can put the second base coat down. So the first base coat is the Fiat Spider Grey. That's the same colour as my car at the minute. So that's a solvent base. We're mixing that with thinner. The gun that we're going to use today for the grey is the GTI Pro Lite with the TE10 cap. That's what we're going to be using today. We're running this about 23-24 psi, not really heavy on the PSI. Bring it down, we'll just see how it goes. I'll do a little spray test out, see what it's like to get a nice coverage. And then on the other colours today, we're going to be going in with a smaller brush. We're going to go in with the PS290. This is a 0.5mm needle and nozzle setup, just so we can get some light coats down on the next areas, because we've got a base coat to drop in here on this piece here. We've got pieces in here to drop in with base coat, and I don't need a big spray gun for this. The PS290 will drop these little pockets of base coat absolutely fine on these. So that's what we're going to do. I'll get the paint mixed up, drop you in the first time lapse. You'll see me drop the grey down on this. We'll let that go off, and then I can talk you through the next stage on the bonnet. So I'll see you in the first time lapse. We got it down in the end. I had to really take my time with this. If you're painting in the UK at the moment and you're in your studio, or if you're in a garage or a shed, you'll know what I mean by the temperatures are really cold at the minute. So if you can use a fast thinner when you put your base coats down, put a fast thinner in most of your paints, and it'll just flash off, it'll just flash out a little bit quicker for you with the cold temperatures that we've got. Now I used a medium because that's all I've got here is a medium thinner, so it stays wet for quite a while and takes quite a while to flash off, and you can basically look at the wet panel. As I was spraying it here, I've got like the extractor on, the heat coming across, and you can just see it drying out slowly, just crawling back, and then the thinner just evaporating out the paint. So I've done the first dust coat, got all the edges, went round the edges 3 times on this, and on the straight edge here 3 times all the way around, so we've got good coverage. But the main area here I went in really light, guys, and it looked sort of like tiger stripey when you're going down really light. Nice light coat, let it flash off, and then just built the coats up. This has had 3 coats to get colour, and then I did 3 backed off drop coats on it as well. So I pulled the gun right back to about a foot, just over a foot distance away, just knocked the pressure down a bit. I was running about 22-23 psi on the 1.2 and dialed the fluid right in. I had it just about 1 turn out on the 1.2, so it was just not loads of paint coming out, and just nice controlled drop coat over that, so you've got a nice even metallic lay down on that paint. So that's drying off. I need this to dry thoroughly down, because you don't want to go chucking masking tape on this and your application tape, go to pull it away, your paint's not gone off and it starts to pull and lift the paint underneath. So you've really got to slow your processes down, guys, when it's cold like this. If you're in real warm booth temperatures where you can just knock the booth up, you've got continuous heat, or you can bake your base coats down, you're good to go. You'll be flying along, you're moving on to the next stage. But DIY painters and me in a studio in a garden, you've got to take your time. So I'm going to grab a coffee, let this cure down, and then we'll move on to the next stage where we're dropping the next base coat down, which will be the black. It's another solvent base coat. We've got that one here. So we're going to mix that one up with some thinner, drop it in the PS290, and we can start just puffing in the black. Don't need a heavy coat on this, just a light pass, just to give it a black base, so it knocks out, goes opaque and knocks out all the colour underneath. That's all we need. So I'll see you in the next step. In that time lapse, we've put the masks on. Now when you use application tape and you've done what I've done, where you put an inner and then an outer, you'll probably find that the outer won't correctly line up, because it's like stretching and moving around certain shapes. So if we've got sort of like an overlap over the dark grey, it doesn't matter. Or if we're under the grey and we can see a bit of this through, when we put the two colours down and demask it, I can go in and just touch up with the grey. It's not a problem at all. Or the black, or whatever way we go about it, we can just touch in as we go along. You'll get this when you're doing these sort of multiple layers, trying to accurately lay a stencil back over a piece like that when it's all moving, and when it's one piece, when it went down and stretched, you'll find it's really hard to try and locate and line every single line up as you go along. But we've near enough got it bang on. We'll see once we've sprayed this, because we've got to put another mask in here when we put her on, and it's putting that one that I've sprayed over back on, and that came off really bad. It was pulling and tearing in places where I lifted it off. But if we have to make a new mask for that, we can do. It's not a problem. So the next stage is to get the black base coat down. I've got the black mixed up. We're going to use the PS290. Nice light coats. I don't need a heavy thick coat on this. It just needs to cancel out that colour underneath and just black it off as a base. So I'll see you in the next step. There you go, that's the black down. I used the PS290 and just built the layers up really soft. And as you can see, I didn't go really heavy up to this edge. I've kept it light past and close to the masking here, so you get a light fogging sort of round on the edge of the mask. I didn't want to go too heavy because you will create paint edges, which I've got. You will create them because you're building the layers up, you're going to get paint edges. But the clear coat, once this is done, this is going to be flow coated as well. So I'll have 2 coats of clear, sanded and then flow coated, so I can build up and it'll just lay out over any edges that are a little bit high. But they're not too bad. So the next stage on this is to drop the cromacoat on here. I might drop the white in first, pull this one off and then fog the white in, drop this on and then puff a bit of black in again and then put the cromacoat on this bit, because this mask here is no good. And to create another one on top of here, it means going over, lining out, pulling away, cutting around. I can get away with using this one. So that's what we'll do there. I'll get the cromacoat in on these pieces next, but I'm going to let this base coat dry right down. So I'll see you in the next step. We have got the cromacoat down and I've just started going round doing a very light white sort of drop edge for the cracked paint. So you'll have the drop edge. If the bonnet was laying flat, you'll have this cracked edge along here, along this bit here, a little bit here. Just gives it that little 3D look like it's going in, and we'll do shading, grey and things and drop shadows under this and work round. So that's it for today. I'm going to do a little bit more, so the next time you see the video you're going to see this edge all put in. Perhaps this video is going to be way too long, but we've got all the base coats down. It's gone down okay. We've got a little bit of mottle edge here, just a little bit coarse here where it went down, but where the portrait's going, this is going to be faded out into this edge, so I can lose a lot of this join edge between these colours here. It's where you're multi-layering things and you're building paint layers upon paint layers up. But it's come out nice. The cromacoat's looking really cool. That colour changes gold green into the light violet colour, so when this is outside in the sun and you walk round, when all the artwork's done, it should look really good. So I'm just going to plod on and get these little cut edges in, and then you'll see these little drop pieces in on the next time you see them. So thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe, press that notification. Drop us a thumbs up, guys, if you are liking the content. And I'll drop a couple of videos up now so you can have a look at some more custom paint work. And we'll crack on with the next episode, doing some more bits over the tops of these. We've got logos to put in, we've got portraits to do, we've got spray guns to paint. So yeah, there's a lot of episodes coming up, guys. So thanks again for watching. See you soon.